What is happening, everybody? Welcome back to the Full Court Press podcast. My name is Ben Clark. I'm here with Brian Joyner, back for episode 2 here. We're excited to get into it today, and today we'll be talking about the first two divisions in the Eastern Conference, both the Atlantic and the Central Division. So pretty excited to see where we'll be planning on drafting different guys, look at the rosters after some additions and subtractions over the off season. So let's go ahead and get into it.
Sounds good.
All right, so starting off, we'll start in the Atlantic Division. We'll start here with the Boston Celtics, and I'll send it over to Brian.
Yeah, Boston's kind of an interesting team. They've had a lot of change, and sometimes some not even with their team. Like they didn't leave the team. Jason Tatum's not going to play all year, basically. So you can kind of wipe him off the fantasy map for this year. Drew Holiday leaves, Kristaps Porzingis leaves. Their main guy this year is going to be Jaylen Brown, which I'm not sure how people feel about him. I always find myself, round 2, 3, like thinking, man, Jaylen Brown's not bad.
You end up with him like every year, I swear.
Every year. Two guys, and we're going to talk about both of them this podcast.
Yeah.
I always tell myself every year, I'm not drafting this guy.
I know who the other one is.
I'm not going to do it. And just for spoiler alert, it's Paul George. and it's a running joke amongst people that play fantasy basketball with me is that I always say I'm not doing it, and then my hand is forced into doing it. But Jaylen Brown, you just look at him and you're like, man, this guy has all the ability to average 20, 30 points, and then get you 8 rebounds and 4 or 5 assists and fill up the stats and give you 2 steals a game. He's going to guard the best player on the other team most of the time, especially this year. I mean, maybe Derek White, but that's for them to decide. The big issue that I have with this team and with Jaylen Brown in particular is his the lack of point guard play. I mean, Derek White is serviceable. They lose Drew Holiday, another serviceable point guard, I guess.
At this
he's
age,
more at this age, he's sure with the ball. It's just like, who's going to get him in his spots? Because I mean, if you watch that team last year, a lot of it was going through Jason Tatum up at the top, and he kind of makes things go. So it's interesting to see what they're going to do with that.
I'd agree. Jaylen Brown's kind of developed creating his own shot the last couple of years. Last year I think he averaged maybe 27, 28 points, but a lot of that was, like you said, facilitated through Tatum. They'll have Peyton Pritchard back again. He was more of a 6-man, so I'm not sure if he'll step right into the starter role. They don't have him listed as starter on the depth chart. I mean, they did bring in Anthony Simons, but I'm not a huge fan of him necessarily. But he could also be the starting point guard potentially, or he'll come off the bench is more what I'm thinking. But I think they'll probably run a lot of Pritchard, and they've got Shireman still who's developing. So I guess it's going to have to be Pritchard to start.
It's going to have to be. I mean, I think they might. I know they like Hugo.
Yeah.
Maybe he can do something ball handle wise. He comes from Europe, which they're known for being able to handle and handle offense as well.
Yeah. No, I'm hopeful for Hugo. I mean, I'm excited to watch him play, and I think he probably needs more time before they just throw him in there. So that's why I'm expecting it to be Pritchard. But I did hear just yesterday that Al Horford is actually looking to go to the Warriors. I don't know if you heard that, but
yeah.
Okay.
He's kind of like
waiting on Kuminga.
Yeah. They want to trade Kuminga to somebody.
Yeah.
And then if they can get that done, then they'll sign, him almost immediately. But I also heard some crazy stuff. I mean, the whole, and this is just off topic a little bit, but the whole Kawhi Leonard situation is kind of interesting. Somebody brought up the fact that Boston does have a little money, and if he ends up, the punishment being that they void his contract, he could go to Boston, and then Al Horford could turn around and be like, "Hey, man, forget y'all. Like, thanks for waiting for me, but I'm out of here. I'm going back." But that's just a way hypothetical situation.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll probably get solved here in the next week or two, but That kind of opens up some things. Kind of more. My point there is, who else are they going to start at power forward, center? Like even with Porzingis leaving, that kind of opens up a lot more minutes too. So
Yeah.
I'm looking at more of like Neemias Keita. He'll probably, I guess he'll start. Chris Boucher, they signed.
Yeah.
Some guys that they've had some playing time, and I'm excited to see them in more playing time. I think especially Boucher, he's produced when he's played for the Raptors, but it's kind of inconsistent in his playing time, so that kind of affected him as well. But
It's just too. I mean, he's 6'11", 7 foot tall, but he's just too small. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like to play consistent center minutes in, especially in this division. Where they're gonna. I mean, the conference where they're gonna play. If he's healthy and beat a bunch and you got teams that are playing big. Yeah, Towns. He's just not gonna guard those guys.
Yeah, that's true.
I think Keita's a good name because I think he's going to start. He played like his hair's on fire when he played last year. But if you give him 25 minutes, that he's going to make a lot of mistakes. So I don't really.
Yeah. I mean, at least for defensive, rebounds and steals, blocks, he may be like his ADP right now is 138, which is kind of the last couple rounds. Which for a starter, I might be fine rolling the dice on that. But for Boucher, he's actually going a little bit after that. So I don't know if I'm really into that, but we'll see. I know it's going to be a lot of the Jaylen Brown show, and Derek White probably going to have a lot of minutes as well. So they're probably the two that I would lean towards. Pritchard had a great year last year, but with Tatum being out, I feel like that kind of takes a hit on some of his value coming in off the bench. So
for sure. Kind of moving on to the next team we'll talk about. I think we can kind of breeze through this one. The Knicks, I think they're very top heavy. I mean Brunson, Towns, OG,
Hart.
Who else? Hart is an interesting question because he doesn't score. And he's not. I mean, some nights he's going to score like 2 points.
Yeah.
I mean, but he plays so much. Now we have to think about this as well. That he played under Tom Thibodeau last year, who plays his starters 38 minutes a game.
Ungodly minutes.
Yeah. So they're going from that to I believe Mike Brown, who's just. I mean, nobody has the philosophy that Tom Thibodeau has.
Yeah.
So you would imagine that his minutes will go down, so his statistics are going to go down across the board, which makes you even more nervous about his points.
Yeah.
Because he didn't score very much last year, and so he's going to go from that to.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, he had a hell of a season last year, and that was playing 40 minutes a night and getting assists, and Brunson was out a good chunk there for a bit too, so his usage went up then. But I agree. I mean, it's going to be hard to kind of unseat those five from their starting positions, but I'd expect them to use a little bit more of their bench this year than last year at least, which may not be saying much. But Mike Brown, looking at some of the teams he's coached over the years, he definitely seems to rely on his bench a little bit more, at least 2 to 3 players more than Thibodeau's 1 to 2. So
yeah, a guy that I'm really interested in there is Miles McBride. I think that if he can take a playmaking step, that could be interesting, because he can score. I mean, he can score. He'll be their number one option off the bench, I think. Maybe Yersan Yabusele.
Yep.
He's an interesting ad, but their bench is just. I mean, their bench is not good. I don't know what to say.
It's not deep. Yeah, you're right. I think they have some talent, but I mean, Mitchell Robinson's always kind of. I mean, he's hurt all the time, but
right.
When he comes in, he's got the energy, and he's their backup big man for sure. I mean, Precious Achua is gone, so I mean, it's got to be Yabusele in my opinion. I think he showed last year he can handle the load. He definitely showed it during the Olympics as well. So I feel like that was a pretty good sign for them at a reasonable contract. But I think fantasy wise, beyond the top 5 guys there, even then, Brunson's going in the second round. Hart's going end of third, early fourth, which is probably a little high for me.
That's too high for me for a guy who's not going to be consistent scoring.
Yeah.
I get it. He's going to get stocks and rebounds and stuff, but you just got to. There's other people there.
Right.
In the third, especially third, fourth round. I mean, you're going to get pretty solid guys there.
Yeah. Well, especially being unproven in Mike Brown's offense. I'm not sure how he's going to run things as compared to Thibodeau. I think Thibodeau just liked hard workers, and Josh Hart is that, and so he just rewarded him with a ton of minutes and facilitating here and there. So I'd expect a pretty good year from Towns again, but I don't think I'm as high on Hart as Obviously, he outperformed last year quite a bit, one of the highest outperformers ADP wise, but I don't see it this year. I could see him finishing 40 where he's ranked 41, but beyond that, I don't see it.
What do you value Mikhail? He comes in last year and has one of the worst shooting starts to a season I think anybody's ever seen.
Yeah.
And then I guess he just reverted back to the way he shot the ball before, because I know he went through like a big shooting form change, which I can't. I never understand players who you're in the NBA, you shoot good, like his shooting percentage is mid to upper 30s,
Right.
And you're like, oh, let me fix that, and let me try to.
Like let's tweak it now that I'm in the NBA and have proven myself as a starter.
What are you doing?
Yeah, I mean he's kind of a conundrum to me. His mold of a fantasy player is one that I don't tend to target. Where he does get threes, he does get steals, and those are valuable, but he's pretty empty in assists, pretty empty in rebounds. And you saw last year, if he's not making his threes, his value is really not there. I mean, he's going, what is he going, about 54th, so that'd be, fifth round.
Right.
That's just a little early for me. I wouldn't be opposed to grabbing him later on than that, but, I mean, he's going to play 82 games, 83 somehow. He'll play an extra game. It doesn't matter. But I just, from a reliability standpoint, that's great. You always want to have those players in fantasy, but when he's giving you nothing other than threes and steals, he's going to be a mid type player that I'm just not going to take, especially at that ADP. So,
right. I mean, I was going to say that too. I mean, his availability is his biggest attribute.
Yeah. I mean, they say that. What's the best ability? Availability.
Right. Yeah. Now we're going to get to that with the Sixers here.
Yeah.
Is there anybody on the Raptors team that you're high on? I mean, I know Scotty Barnes is a good pickup. He's going to keep growing and he's going to be good. Other than him, is there anybody?
Did you ask if anyone's high on the Raptors? Because that would be Brandon Ingram. But
yeah.
Dude always looks like he's high.
I don't know. He moves in slow motion.
I mean, there's really not anyone. I mean, looking at some of the projections, it's kind of abysmal to look at their bench. It's a lot of the same faces as last year, so you got continuity, which is nice. But they were bad last year, which I guess if you want to continue being bad, that's fine. But I mean, the only player that I think has some value outside of Scotty Barnes that is maybe going to outperform his ADP to me is Jakob Poeltl. And he proved last year, he missed a little bit of time. I had him in a couple leagues, but he did prove when he played that he fit the offense pretty well with them, and he's going to get his stats. So I would be fine drafting him, especially since centers, they can be really valuable in certain scoring formats, and double-doubles are super valuable. So I'd expect him to take another jump this year with the continued offense, and I like him as a player, so I'd be looking at him kind of maybe 6th, 7th round, depending on where he's at.
I just don't see with this team where you have quickly Barrett, Ingram, Scotty. Where is there's only one ball. I mean, I know a lot of people talk about there's only one ball. Not everybody can have these possessions, and all these guys are not fluid offensive, like you run, kind of like Warriors type basketball where these guys run around the court. You design plays for them. All these guys are you get them in their spots, give them the ball, everybody move out of the way, and none of them are playmakers.
Yeah.
So they're not gonna do anything other than shoot the ball. I don't know. So you're just gonna, each possession is quickly gonna come down and just toss the ball into Scotty this play, toss the ball into Ingram this play, or we're going to have Barrett come on a screen.
Yeah.
And it's just I don't know what they're doing. You're right. I think Jakob Poeltl is an interesting pick. I'd definitely target him where he's at. And I was reading somewhere that Colin Murray Boyles, they're projecting him 25th 4 to 5 fantasy points a game, which
Really?
is nuts.
I think, yeah.
I don't
No,
see
you're
it.
right. I see 24 and a half here. And he's not
It's
even drafted in the top 150. That's why I'm not.
he's not a scorer by any means, and definitely not going to be a scorer in the NBA.
No, I mean, I guess they're expecting him to get 10 rebounds a game and,
Yeah,
stealing a
2
block
blocks.
or something.
Yeah,
But
it's
no,
crazy.
and you're right. I mean, I think RJ Barrett is going to chuck a bunch of shots as he always does. He was a little more efficient last year, so I'll give him that. But I didn't understand why they got Ingram in the first place because he just is the same type of player as the rest of them, like you said. So there's really not many people I'm going to touch here unless they just continue to drop and drop down the boards because
For sure.
there's value in having volume. So you always got to look at that. But yeah, I think it's Pirtle for me and Scotty Barnes, third, fourth round maybe. He's a triple double potential, so I'd be interested in watching him grow another year. I think it's fourth year.
Yeah.
So
And then moving on to the Nets, I think I would only target 3 guys on this roster.
man, that many.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's crazy, but I'm not. This team is terrible, but I would target Michael Porter Jr. I'd target Cam Thomas, and I would target Nick Claxton, I guess.
Really?
And Nick Claxton is a little bit on the lower end of that, but
Okay.
But I can value guys that are going to get 8 to 10 rebounds, 2 blocks, which is what he's going to give you.
Yeah.
And so that's going to give you some value. I'm not drafting him top like in first 5-6 rounds. Like
Sure.
if he's somewhere, after that, after your initial starting 5-6 players, then I can see him as like a fill-in center. But Michael Porter Jr. is going to shoot the ball a ton, and he shoots the ball well. Now, I mean, I'm interested in seeing how he goes from a Jokic focused offense to I guess he's the focus of this team now.
Yeah, who knows what the focus is?
Yeah, so I don't know how that's going to look, but I imagine that somebody has to score the ball.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, obviously Cam Thomas is going to shoot his 25 shots a game, and when he's healthy. But yeah, I'm curious about Porter Jr. because I mean, like you said, with playing with Jokic, that always opens up some better shot opportunities than who's going to pass it to him this year. Igor Demon and
Yeah,
Nick Claxton
Yes.
doesn't really pass. So, I mean,
Trey Ori.
yeah. I mean, it maybe just with volume alone, he'll get better looks and stuff and create his shot a little bit more. But I'm not super interested in him. To me, he's like a Cameron Johnson was last year for them, where they're gonna 3-and-D, and maybe he'll get a little bit more shot creation this year. But I'm not super interested in him. But I guess if you had to pick somebody that was gonna produce for the Nets, it's got to be 2 of those. I think Claxton. I had him last year after having him years prior, and last year was definitely a big disappointment. I think he's going around 7th round, like you said. That would be maybe acceptable to take him there, but I kind of think they're just going to play a lot of their young guys. They've got Danny Wolf, and they've got Noah Clowney, and they've got some other bench players that are younger that I could see them getting rid of Claxton this year. I thought they would last year,
Yeah.
but
I'm interested to see. I was really sure he was going to get traded to the Lakers.
yeah.
I would have put my house on it. But they go out and they do the Ayton thing, so I think he's pretty much off the table for them. I'm interested to see throughout the season where injuries maybe pop up. Maybe if the Celtics, or if they're better than they look to be, they're going to be a playoff team, I think. But
Yeah.
if they're really wanting to push it for a championship, maybe they go get Claxton.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I mean,
is a
they'll
good fit.
definitely need a center with their
Yeah,
starter
with their
being
rotation.
Kata, so I could see that.
Yeah, right.
It's not bad.
Their depth chart has Xavier Tillman as their starter,
Oh,
which I
man.
think is absurd. But
He had a total of 104 fantasy points last year.
yeah, he played good for one season
Yeah,
at
Memphis.
in Memphis,
Yeah.
and then they traded for him, and they never played him.
Yeah, I didn't really
don't
understand
understand.
that, but
But yeah, this final team is is an interesting one too. The Sixers. How? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? I don't know. Like, what are your thoughts?
man, I mean, are we still trusting the process at this point? it's a
process
long
is killed.
it's
It's
a
dead.
long process, man. No, I
Yeah.
mean, obviously they come and they go as Embiid goes, and you know, it's always a bit of a roller coaster. I think a lot of my experience with Embiid in the past has been great, but after last year and just with his knees, man, I don't think I can trust him moving forward. As unfortunately, I like him as a player, I like him as a person, and I don't know if you had the chance. They had a pretty good article on ESPN about him, and kind of goes into his whole story. That was really good, but you feel for the guy because he's there to produce. He can, you know, lead the league in scoring. He can triple double threat. He's a shooter. You know, like he's got it all. He's just his poor body can't keep up with him. So,
Which is interesting because he's not like, I mean, he's athletic, yes, but I don't know. Maybe he's just the pounding and the pushing and the weight that he's put on. Because in
Yeah.
college he was so skinny.
Oh, yeah.
And then he gets into the pros and he just puts all this weight on, and maybe his body just wasn't prepared for that kind of stress.
I mean, I just don't think our bodies are designed to handle that. Regardless, you know, like I mean, Yao
Yeah, right.
Ming was kind of the same way with his feet and his knees. It's just a lot of weight to be moving around on, and especially running at that speed with those athletes. And yeah, so I don't know. I'm not expecting him to be out for a majority of the year, but I also expect them to probably tailor back his minutes a little bit, and we'll see. I can't touch him this year, and unfortunately, but
I'm really high on Maxey. I think Maxey's awesome. I had him on my team last year.
Yeah.
I think he's consistent. He plays, and in this team, you know, he's the only guy that's going to play consistently pretty much every game. I mean, he doesn't miss much. And if this team expects to win, I don't know how, like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You have Embiid, you have George, you have Maxey, you drafted VJ, you know, high in this year's pick. You have Jared McCain coming back. This team expects to win.
Yep.
So if you have more injuries, which is possible always, I mean, they're going to push hard, and Maxey's going to be their number one guy, really.
Yeah.
If Embiid can't stay healthy, even with George, I think Maxey's still their number one guy if Embiid's not there.
Absolutely. I mean, you kind of saw that last year too. Obviously, they had pretty poor health across the board, but I think with McCain back, I think that'll just open up more for Maxey. You know, he'll probably be he'll start, I think, but I think he'll probably come off the bench more when Maxey rests as well, because he'll probably want to run the offense through him. So I think Maxey, he's going at 17, so back of the second round. I think that's pretty reasonable. He could probably be top 10 if he has a good year, which I would expect him to probably outperform that 17. But
if I had a top, let's see, if I had an into the first, top of the second, I would consider maybe taking him.
Yeah.
High second round, maybe above his ADP, but
yeah,
I just think that he brings everything, and you know, no, he's not going to get you any really stocks, really. I mean, even box on a point guard is not really what you're looking for, but his steals and stuff, he's just not going to really bring that. But I think what he brings to you offensively is enough to carry.
Yeah.
You know, if your number one guy gets hurt, I think he's a good fill-in for a number one guy on your team.
Yeah, I agree. And they have some interesting bench pieces. You know, they rotated a lot out this year, losing Yabusele, and they have a ton of guys. I streamed so many Sixers last year because there's so many minutes available. But I'm interested to see their backup center, Bona. I like him. I think they played Drummond a lot more last year, but I think Bona has a good potential this year to be a pretty good stream at some point. Not a big fan of Kelly Oubre. Not touching Paul George. I'm going to leave him for you.
I'm going to take him again. Y'all leave him fourth or fifth round.
Oh, yeah. Oh, he's going to be there. He's going to be there. Just wait.
No, I can't. I'm not going to do it. Do you think now, I don't, is McCain set to come back?
He is. They're talking about maybe a couple weeks into the season, but I think he's going to be set to come back pretty quickly. So they have Edgecombe listed as a potential starter between him and Oubre rather than McCain, which I found interesting because I feel like Edgecombe's probably more a 2 than a 3, but
for sure.
McCain they have as a 3, which I'm like, I think he's probably more of a guard, but that's how they list him. So I'm curious to see who will actually start, but I'd prefer Oubre to come off the bench, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, and lastly, I think another guy that's kind of floating out there in the ether is Grimes. He's not
Yeah.
signed there yet, but I imagine that's where he'll be.
You
is the
think?
Sixers? I mean, nobody's going to give him the $20 million that he wants. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody's already spent their money, and so I don't know who he's expecting to get it from. So I think he does what Thomas did, and he takes the whatever the small offer that they'll give him,
Yeah.
and he'll go back, play a year, play well, hopefully trust himself, and then hit the 27 market, because there's a lot of teams with a lot of cap space.
Yeah.
27. So, but
I mean,
that's interesting
yeah.
too. I don't know. It's hard.
I didn't really think too much about him for that, but yeah, I could see that. I mean, they're like you said, they're a team that expects to win, and he played pretty great last year. Honestly, just another reason why the Mavs getting rid of him just made no sense. But
it didn't make any sense, but then it did for this exact reason, because the free agency situation was going to be horrible for him, and
Sure.
they get Martin back, who played terrible last year. I mean, horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can get into that. It's just like a whole nother
Yeah.
podcast situation. But that's just Caleb Martin is.
But it's good to
I don't
mention, though,
understand.
because Grimes could be somebody late on the board that maybe doesn't sign right away, but maybe he does, and then you've got a pretty good value there. So,
And if McCain's a step slower, he may start.
right,
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's interesting to see. It's interesting to see who they start between like Edgecombe, if Grimes is there, and McCain. Even at the start, I wonder if McCain comes off the bench. But he played so well last year at the beginning. I just can't imagine that they're gonna stuff him down the bench.
no, I think they'll give him a lot of run this year, but I think they'll be a fun team to watch. Obviously, if Embiid stays healthy, that'll really change things. But overall, I think they'll pretty probably top 5, 6 in the East if Embiid stays healthy.
Is that impressive?
Not impressive, but expected, I would say.
Yeah, for sure. I think the East is just so
Especially
bad.
with Boston being down a little bit without Tatum,
Yeah.
so they may have a little bit more runway there.
Right.
All right, well, let's move on to the Central Division. Start with the Chicago Bulls. Not a ton of moves made by the Bulls in the offseason. Obviously Lonzo Ball's gone. He went over to the Cavs. Isaac Okoro's gone. They started him a good chunk of last season.
Yeah.
Any big additions there? Not particularly. I mean, I know they signed Josh Giddey
Yeah.
to a big deal, so that's good for them. I think he'll be pretty solid this year. Yeah.
I don't know. This team, Kobe White, maybe. I'm high on him. He just plays so hard, and he does everything. He's going to get you steals. He's going to get you points. He's going to get rebounds. He's going to, he's going to push the pace. And on a team like this, hey, somebody's got to do something. It's just there's a lot of teams like this where it's like you'll take players late that when you're trying to fill your roster. You'll look at teams like Chicago and you'll say Kobe White. They're gonna average 90 points. I mean, like 90 to 100 points. Somebody has to score those points. So it's got to be Kobe White. It might be Ayo Dosunmu. Josh Giddey, I personally don't really like.
Really?
I mean, I like him as far as he's a good passer, but his shooting is so streaky.
Yeah.
And,
I mean, he's not the best shooter, that's for sure.
And is he going to be the point guard in this? I mean, he has to be the point guard to be successful. If he's going to be a really high contributing fantasy player, he needs to have the ball in his hands. And
Yep.
I don't know. I don't know if you get it out of Kobe White and Ayo Dosunmu's hands.
No, I think you're right. He does have to have the ball in his hands. I mean, they just put $100 million in his hands, so I'm hoping that they reward him with the ball a little bit. But I mean, Kobe White certainly played his way into kind of being that ball dominant, number one, if you will, and you kind of see that in his ADP. He's up to 51 now, and I think last year I picked him up off the waiver wire. Like, he's definitely made a huge jump last year. He's a little bit more efficient than his career stats, so I think he'll be a big piece for them for sure. Obviously Vucevic is still there.
I was going to bring him up.
Yeah,
I like him. I like Vuce. He's 10 to 12 rebounds a game, and he's going to score 20 points somehow.
Yeah,
and those guys are valuable. I mean, those guys are consistent. He plays. I like him. I mean, I'll take him.
You gonna take him in the back of the second round?
Oh, first round, man.
First round, really?
No. No. I'm taking him I'll take him as my backup center. If I'm looking at it and I'm thinking round 4 or 5.
Oh, okay.
I've gotten all my
Yeah.
big guys, and then I think to have him kind of sit behind a center, and then even if you're really looking at it and you take Embiid, let's say you take Embiid number 1. Might see my cat.
Nice.
Uh, if you take Embiid first round, you may look at Vucevic, as like I know he's going to play and he can give me points consistently.
Sure.
So I can take a risk on somebody like that. And maybe that's just kind of how you fill out your team.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm curious if he'll drop. If he drops to the third or fourth round, then fourth round, I'd say absolutely. Third round,
Sure,
I'm
right.
still a little questionable on, but like you said, if you've got an Embiid or somebody else that's a little more, high risk, high reward, then he definitely provides you a pretty stable floor, which is nice. I'm curious what they're going to do with Matas Buzelis, because I didn't really
Yeah.
care for him too much last year. Obviously, he didn't get to play a ton, but towards the end of the year, once they were kind of out of things, he definitely started to play more and seemed like he'd be a pretty decent playmaker.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's the future of their team, and I think that they're going to put the ball in his hands because of that reason. So I think that he's a good pick. I think he's a good pickup as a late,
Yeah,
I don't know, mid draft, kind of guy where you're just like you have your solid guys and you take like a chance on somebody a little early, maybe above their ADP just because you think that they're going to get the ball a lot on a bad team.
mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, he's
And so I
sitting at
think
like
he's one of those guys.
13th, 14th round. So if you can
Yeah.
get somebody
No.
that's going to start probably for them and play 25 minutes a game, maybe 30 max, that's
Right.
pretty good. Pretty good piece.
I'm definitely taking him before 13th, 14th round. I think.
I guess I'm going to take him 12 now because you're.
Yeah, you better.
Yeah. So we'll see how they do. I don't think there's too much more that I'm interested in on their team. I misspoke earlier. Okoro is on the Bulls now from the Caps, but
There we go.
Kevin Herter, sneaky. He's
Sneaky.
listed as a starter? Question mark. But
Question mark.
they brought him off the bench a good chunk last year. He was pretty effective off the bench, and he's always kind of been that player, 6th, 7th guy that comes in. He can make threes, pass the ball a little bit. I don't think I'll really target him much in drafts or anything, but just a name to kind of note just in case things shake up or there's injuries or whatnot.
I think he's one of those guys that late in this mid season, he starts shooting the ball well, and you see that they're playing 3 or 4 games in a week.
Mm-hmm.
You add him,
Yeah.
and then you drop somebody who's maybe not playing so well, and then he's one of those guys that you just flip in and out
Yeah,
throughout the season
for sure.
Just because he's a 3-point shooter, and that's pretty much what he is. And so if he gets hot, then you capitalize on that.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, sweet. Who's next on the list? Cleveland?
Yeah. So next on the list, Cleveland. Yeah, which they're just top heavy again. They had Garland, Mobley, Mitchell. These guys are gonna produce. I mean, I don't know. What are your thoughts on Garland? Do you like him? Do you?
Man, so he's kind of my Paul George, if you will, because I end up with him pretty much every year.
Yeah.
He's actually out right now.
Yeah.
His foot and something else. He always seems to be a little hurt, but I guess they updated recently and said he's been practicing on the court. He's been doing court work, so he's not going to be ready to start the year, but he should be ready probably in like 4 weeks after they start. So, because of that, depending on where he falls in the draft, I do like him as a player. I think he's proven that he can be very fantasy relevant. Top 40 pretty easily when he's healthy and playing well. They have him at 64, which kind of bakes in some of that missing 4 weeks. So
Yeah.
I could see myself drafting him, stash him for a month, let him get back healthy. If you only have to take a 6th round pick, 7th round pick, I would do that. But
Yeah, I agree.
as a player, I like him too. I like the way he plays, and I think he fits well. Donovan Mitchell actually has fit that team so much better than I thought initially.
Oh, he's a fringe first round pick, I think.
It definitely, yeah. I mean, they have him
Yeah,
at 24, which seems a little disrespectful because
that seems
every year,
I listened to all the Locked On
yeah,
podcast
yeah.
guys, and they did their top 100.
Mm-hmm.
They had him in the top 10 players in the league.
Oh yeah.
Which I don't know if I made a list. I'd have to really think about it. I don't know if I'd put him top 10 in the league, but
Is that just overall talent or is that fantasy?
no, just players.
Okay.
Just
Yeah.
players in the league, overall talent. So, you know, I would consider him for a second round. I mean, I think he's another guy that's just going to play probably all 82 games almost, and he's just going to get you everything. He's going to score 20 to 30 points. He's going to get you assists, rebounds. I mean, steals. He might come up with a few blocks here and there. You know,
Yeah.
He's one of those gritty players.
Yeah, I mean, I think the only reason he doesn't go top 10 is because he's not really a triple-double, double-double type player, you know, but he fills the stat sheet, like you said. So I could see him top 15 pretty easily. I'm not sure where the 24 is coming from, but I mean, it's coming from ESPN. Shout out.
Yeah.
But I don't trust that. So I would take him comfortably in the second round. I don't think I'd go first round on him, but I do like him. He's a good player, and I think they'll be pretty much the same as last year. They were dominant last year, but I think they'll be pretty dominant again this year.
Yeah, one guy on there that I always, again, I find myself drafting him every year because people slip on him is Jared Allen.
Mm-hmm.
I love Jared Allen.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It seems like every fantasy draft I do throughout the years, everybody just doesn't. He doesn't score, I guess, but he gets you. I mean, he'll get you 10, 12 points a game.
Oh yeah, he's double-double, walking double-double,
guy,
2 blocks.
And he's going to get you 2 to 3 blocks a game. He's going to be a block leader.
Yeah.
And he'll have games. I'm convinced that he has weeks where he wins me the week.
Yeah.
Because he'll go on these streaks where he gets 4 blocks a game, which just add up throughout the week, and I love him.
Oh yeah, and he's got that afro too, man.
The fro?
Keep the fro forever.
Gotta love it, man. Gotta love it.
Who else on their bench is notable at all? I mean, obviously Max Strus is out for a good chunk as well, so they re-signed a hometown hero, Larry Nance.
Larry Nance, Larry Nance. I don't know. I think the one guy I'm interested in, and I don't know that I'll draft him if maybe late, is Lonzo.
Really?
I think if Darius Garland misses, I think he has a chance to maybe even start on this team.
Yeah.
At the beginning of the year, so maybe you take him later in the draft, you know, and then you just for the first month that if he misses a month, that you're going to get from him, because he's a defensive menace when he plays. He's going to get you steals, blocks. He's a good shooter, which is something I never thought I'd say. And so, like, I like him.
You know, the only thing I think that's missing from his game is cartilage in his knee. But other than that,
that's true.
You know, I think he's a pretty good player. A couple we didn't mention, Sam Merrill was pretty good last year. Great shooter. Yeah. He played a lot, and I don't know if he'll play as much this year with some of the pieces they got, but he could, like you said, with Garland being out, he could produce first couple months. And then DeAndre Hunter, obviously, I'm not a huge fan from fantasy perspective, but yeah, he is going to start for them. He's probably going to play 30 to 32 minutes a game. He can score. I don't think they need him to, but he's a pretty good defender.
It's hard for me to draft guys like him.
Yeah.
That are just because the team relies on him to guard the best player every single night.
Yeah.
And then what they do to help him do that is they stick him in the corner, and he'll get hot. He'll make 3 or 4 threes, and he'll get you 12 points a game. Sometimes if more. He'll contribute a little more than that, But his job is to guard the best player, and those guys just don't tend to produce the way that others do.
Right.
Like he's not, because he's guarding the best player, he's not going to get all the rebounds because he's having to be up in the face of a Luka and LeBron and all these other guys, the top dogs in the league.
Mm-hmm.
So I find it hard to draft guys like him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. He's going in the 13th round, for a 10-man league, which if he's going to play that many minutes and he could be somebody that I target at the very end. But like you said, there's a lot of mouths to feed there, and I feel like that he was a good fit for them as a team. They needed a player like him. They kind of wanted Okoro to be that. I think Hunter's a little bit more polished and experienced, but when he was on the Hawks, they really wanted him to be the number 2 or number 3 at that point, and he's not that.
Oh, he was never going to.
With the Cavs, he can be the 4 or the 5, and that's plenty for him. So.
And I think it'd be bad for us not to mention Mobley. I mean, we didn't even mention him, but he's just so consistent that like second, third round, probably second round. I think I'm taking him.
Yeah,
I mean, he's a stat stuffer supreme. I mean, he's Jared Allen except he can score 20 points a game.
Right.
I don't know, like he's great. So
I do love him.
I'm targeting him second round probably for sure.
Yeah, you'll probably be having to reach for him to get him in the second round, but that I wouldn't be hurt by that. If he's going in the third round, take him in the second. I mean, he's gonna play well.
Was he he's in his third year this year?
It might be his fourth year now.
Fourth year. So I think that players tend to make this jump, during those times where he's, between third, fourth year, they make these big jumps,
Yeah.
and so maybe he I don't know. I don't see him taking over the Donovan Mitchell number one on the team.
Sure,
but I think the team could turn to like Mobley, you carry us to the fourth quarter. Donovan Mitchell, you score 15 points in the fourth.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
So I mean that ends up being
he's definitely made jumps each year that he's been there, especially offensively. He's always pretty consistent on defense. I took him as defensive player of the year last year. I might do it again this year just to see because he's that good. But yeah, we didn't mention him because he's so consistent and you just know what you're getting. So
exactly. Next on this list is the Pistons. Outside of Cade Cunningham, I don't really know. I mean, Duran's consistent. He's another double guy.
Yeah.
I don't see him taking any bigger step than he did last year. I think that last year, this is just personal opinion, I guess. What you got last year is what you're going to get for Duran for the rest of his career.
Yeah.
Because he's not a shooter. He's not going to develop that. The one guy I am interested in and see what you think is Ivy. Do you think he comes back and has a good season?
I do, and I think people are kind of sleeping on him, at least according to these rankings. He's not even in the top 150 listed, which he played so well before he broke his leg, obviously, that, I mean, we'll see how he comes back healthy, but I'm assuming he's going to be healthy to start the year, and he's going to play.
Yeah, I haven't heard anything different.
So I'm especially starting for the Pistons, I think I would take him comfortably in the later rounds, maybe 10, 11, 12, but I'm pretty interested in him.
I mean, I was just looking at it just now. Before he got hurt, which he only played 30 games last year, he was shooting 40% from three.
Yeah. Oh, he was on fire.
If he can keep that, because he went from 34 his first year, 33 the next year to 40. I mean, if he, 30 games is a small sample size. Probably going to go down a little bit, but if he can be between 35 and 40%, I mean, that's.
I mean, we're going to have to start
awesome,
calling him Kobe Bryant Jr. at that point. My God.
There you go. Yeah. Right. And
jumping back to Cade real quick, where would you take Cade? Where do you value him? I mean, obviously he's a first round guy, but.
Yeah, I think so. I think I mean, you have your top five guys that you're pretty consistent in every league. It's going to be Jokic, Shea, Giannis, Luka, and who's fifth? I mean, are you taking Wemby? Yeah, Wemby.
I think those are pretty comfortable top five, regardless of whatever order you want.
Right. Outside of that, maybe you're taking him on like a turn. Maybe you're gonna get 2 picks pretty quick.
Yeah.
Maybe you take Cade and then Mobley, or you take Mobley might be a little bit of a reach, top second or top of the second. But
yeah,
I want to see how this team is. I mean, he's so good, and if they're a better team than we think, then maybe he starts distributing more, scoring less. Because last year it was just he was the only option they had.
Yeah. And he did both, but like you said, maybe he turns it on more passing, even more so. And he's still going to score 25. But last year, what did he score last year? Like 27, 28?
Yeah, let me look at this for fast.
Maybe it was a little less, but
last year he scored 26.
Okay.
26 and 9.
Yeah. So I could see him like 25 and 10 instead, or 24 and 11. He's a great distributor, and I do think they don't have a ton of else on the team to where. Like last year, what did they finish? Like 7th in the East, 8th in the East. I could see him doing about the same this year, and he's going to carry that team. So I'd take him comfortably end of the first round. I don't think after this top 5, like you said, I probably would throw a couple more in there and then take Cade, but he's comfortable in the top 10 for me.
Yeah, and I'm interested in Duncan Robinson comes to the. He's a new ad.
Yep.
They needed shooting really
Oh
badly.
yeah.
I mean, just like desperately needing shooting.
A little
So I think he's
a little bit more
he's
than
gonna
Tim
play
Hardaway
well.
could offer.
Yeah. Oh well, Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, trust me, we're Mavericks fans.
Yeah.
We understand everything about Tim Hardaway.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Oh, what a steal! We got Tim Hardaway for Quentin Grimes." Like, it's like, no, y'all don't understand.
Yeah.
You'll learn though.
Yeah, you'll
Duncan Robinson. I mean, he's another guy, streaky shooter, but when he gets on, that guy can fill it up. Him, I'm interested in Tobias Harris. Does he take a step back?
No.
I always like Tobias
I
Harris.
know you
and
do.
I'm a league pass guy, so
Okay.
and Detroit's always somebody that I watch
Yeah.
because I just like Cade Cunningham so much.
Yeah.
And I find myself watching them and seeing Tobias Harris when Cade's not on the floor be
Mhm.
their main scoring option.
Yeah.
And so if you're going to get, however many minutes he's going to miss, just being on the bench, 10, 15 minutes of just Tobias Harris offense, I think he could, if he's going, he could provide some sort of fantasy value late,
Oh, yeah.
late draft, steals almost, where he's they project him averaging about 30 points fantasy,
Mhm.
fantasy points per game.
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah, they have him in the 10th round. I guess that's about what I would do right there. I mean, he's going to start, like you said, he's going to get those minutes when Cade sits and kind of is the number one at that point. We'll see if Ivy steps into that role more. And
Right.
but we also haven't mentioned Asar Thompson, which
Yeah.
we don't have to. I'm not a huge fan of him, just personally. But
I think that he's shadowed by his brother, so it's hard.
yeah,
Because his brother's just so good. But they're the same player,
Mhm.
and he just doesn't have the opportunities that Asar does. I mean, Amin does.
yeah,
So he just suffers that way. I don't know. Like it's just he's the defensive guy, and he's the one that they put in the corner, but he can't shoot. So
yeah.
so they put him in the corner, and he doesn't produce because he does. That's not his game.
Mhm. Would you take him over Ivy?
No.
Okay.
I would take Ivy. I would definitely take Ivy before him. I know they project him having 31 points per game and Ivy around 30. I guess 28, 29.
Yeah.
But I think that's just injury and the fact that he didn't play all year. So I think
Okay.
that they're just projecting him what he did in the past, and I like Ivy shooting better than Asar's shooting.
Okay.
And the way the offense works, I mean, they're a pick and roll offense with Cade having the ball, and what's Asar going to do? They really do. They just put him in the corner, and he's not a shooter, so he offensively it's hard for him to get involved.
Yeah. Would you take him over Tobias? Sounds like probably Tobias.
Yeah, they'd be close. I don't know who I'd take over them two. I think I would probably lean Asur because I think he's going to play more minutes.
Mm-hmm.
But especially because I think with Duran, with Ivy, with Robinson taking touches, who knows what Malik Beasley going to be back on this team? I don't know where what he's
got
doing.
a lot going on right now.
He's got a lot going on, but he's clear of the NBA. He's cleared by the NBA to play.
Yeah.
So is he coming back to take touches? It's just
True.
it's interesting to see what they're gonna what he looks like. He's definitely somebody I probably wouldn't be mad about, like just dropping and switching around with somebody who's pretty hot.
Yeah, that's fair. Because, I mean, they don't really have much other big men to know. I mean, Isaiah Stewart he's not really...
Beef stew.
Yeah, he's not really a basketball player. He's just out there to bully people. But
Yeah, he's there to fight everybody.
Yeah.
He's old school Detroit Pistons basketball.
It's Ben Wallace without the skill.
And somehow is like considered a good shooter, which I don't understand,
Yeah.
but whatever.
All right. Well, that's enough for the Pistons, I think.
Yeah. I think next team on our list is the Pacers.
Yeah.
The Halliburton-less Pacers.
Ugh, it's so sad, man.
Sad.
Watching that live, that was brutal.
Him crying on the floor, just banging, like being like, no. I was
Yeah.
like, oh.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I don't know if he's playing. Maybe they get back, but they were just such a story,
Mm-hmm.
a storied run that like, they were so close.
I
They
know.
could if they
just
could
the
have
one
been like,
game, man. One game.
oh man, I think it's just my love for Rick Carlisle. I think
Yeah.
it would have just been so nice to have him have like the two most like out of
Yeah.
nowhere runs. Like, oh, that'd have been so cool.
I agree. You know, fun fact, real quick. I met Rick Carlisle at Yogurtland in Dallas.
Oh, really?
I shook his hand. I was like, "Hey, I don't want a picture, but I just want to shake your hand. Say, hey, thanks for everything."
Yeah.
He said,
Yeah,
"Sure,
yeah.
yeah." He was there with his daughter and his daughter's friend just at Yogurtland. Pretty
Cool.
crazy.
Man, that's so cool.
Yeah.
Is he as dry?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He's like, man, I shook his hand. I need some lotion that dry. You know. No, he was really nice, but just very short. Like what you see on TV, that's Rick Carlisle. And then like a week later, I saw him at Golf Galaxy, but I didn't want to go say hi.
Well, I'd be like,
Like, oh, you
you're
again.
following him.
I guess you got an open spot on the Mavs.
Yeah. I got a little
Yeah,
size.
I mean, you
but I
re-signed
can't
Dwight Powell. I mean, I'm basically the same. So
he's on the list of potential people that are getting paid under the table, but hey,
hey,
it's not for me to decide.
all right, back to the Pacers.
Right.
Who? Let's see, starters. Obviously with Halliburton out, that leaves a lot of minutes for McConnell, a lot of minutes for Nemhard. I'm curious what they'll do at the 2 and the 3. I mean, they've got Mathurin, they've got Neesmith. Any of those 4 guys that you like more than the others?
Well, I mean, I like Nimhard.
Okay.
I think Nimhard, they have to have him fill the role. He's not going to pass like Halliburton is, but he needs to score.
Okay.
He needs to be the second guy, I think. Mathurin could take a step. I think he gets in his own way. He gets a little too fast.
Yeah.
But he can slow it down and maybe he can figure it out. But of this team, top dog Siakam.
Yep.
I mean, so clearly.
Yep.
And then second is I think Nimhard.
Interesting. Yeah, I'm kind of torn between them. You know, obviously I love McConnell being from Arizona and just the way he plays. He's a big hustle player,
Right.
but I feel like he's that good because of that role that he's in. You know, he's coming off the bench, he's getting a couple steals, he's bringing the energy. So I don't really see him being that scoring guy that they need. So I'm kind of with you. I think it's going to be Nemhard. I liked watching Neesmith last year, especially during the playoff run. I think he can score for them, and they need that. So I think I'd like him a little bit more than Mathurin, just efficiency-wise and, defensively as well. I guess they're pretty similar in that. But, yeah, I'm not really sure who's going to stand out, but I think Nemhard's probably got the best potential, like you said.
Yeah, I think the only thing that gets in Nimhard's way is he's the only perimeter defender that they have. I mean, McConnell's good, but he's small.
Yeah.
But he's the guy. I mean, he's any they're playing anybody with an elite point guard, he's guarding them. Now, it hasn't affected him in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And I think it'll go the same way. He's in great shape, so I think he's the one. He's the guy. Guy that I don't know why he doesn't get enough. He didn't get playing time last year, but that's new to this roster. Are you interested in Jay Huff at all? How do you feel about? Do you have any opinions on him?
I do. I drafted him last year in a couple of leagues because I thought, being on Memphis, I was like, surely Zach Edey's going to be slow. Surely he's going to not be good. I was wrong. But they did still play Huff a decent amount to where you could see, like, he's got the skill. To me, he's like Jonas Valanciunas Jr., and maybe it's just the beard and the way he looks, but I think they play similarly to where he can be a double-double if they need him to be. I mean, who else is going to start for him? They have Isaiah Jackson, which I like him as well, but he never gets enough playing time either to really see what he can do. So if Huff's going to be that stable 20 to 25-minute guy, pick and roll, get you 10 rebounds, maybe a block here and there.
He's a good shot blocker.
Yeah, he's a good defender. So I'm optimistic for him. I really got to see how their rotation plays out first before I'm comfortable taking him probably, but definitely somebody on the waivers that you want to monitor and kind of see what they do the first couple weeks.
Yeah, for sure. No, I totally agree. And he's an okay shooter. I mean, he doesn't shoot very much, but like last year he shoots what do they have? 40% on 1.3 a game.
That's not bad.
It's not terrible.
Yeah.
I
mean,
mean,
if you can space the floor at all, that may help them. I don't think they're I guess Obi Toppin's going to play as well. I'm not really sure. He's another one of those 3-4 guys that
Yeah.
they're just going to probably have to piecemeal it as they go, and I'm sure Carlisle will work some genius in there to find some rotations that work, and they'll kind of iron that out in a couple weeks. But I do like them. I like rooting for them. I'm curious to see what they do. Um,
Do you think Jarris Walker takes any steps forward?
he did get a little time last year, and you could see like he's got some skill. It's hard to know because I didn't see him play too much, but
Yeah.
they're going to have the opportunities. They may be. I don't think they'll be a bad team. They may be a fringe play-in team, but I don't think he's going to play enough for us to really see. But maybe he will. I think he has potential too. I'm not confident that they're going to give him the minutes. So I guess yes and no.
Last on our list is the Milwaukee Bucks, the new home for Miles Turner.
Your favorite player?
I do like to take him as well. He burns me every year, and he especially burns me when he plays the Mavs. I just can't. I don't understand. He turns into like freaking Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Just freaking scores 30 points on us every time. It's crazy. Anyway,
This is the year.
I mean,
this is his year.
Yeah, this is the year. Yeah, this is it. Giannis, clear top 3 pick probably.
Okay.
I don't know, maybe top 4.
Well,
I mean,
yeah.
depends on what you like, how you like Wemby. I don't know. Do you think that he's top 3?
Giannis?
Where do you put Giannis? Yeah.
I think he's top 3. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's, in my opinion, I think we're getting a little fatigued of how great he is. He's kind of like Jokic every year with MVP voting. It's like he's going to get you 28 and 12 and 2 blocks and a steal and 4 assists, and that's top 3. I think Wemby has potential to be top 3 as well, but I don't think he's quite as developed as he needs to be to pass Giannis in some of those other statistics. Like, obviously his blocks he's going to get you a ton of points from, but
Right.
Rebounds and assists, he doesn't even average a double-double that I'm aware of. So I need to see that a little bit more from him this year, develop his shot a little bit more, kind of shot creation. So I think Giannis is a pretty comfortable top 3 to me. Probably 2 or 3. I'd probably put Shea a little step down from last year. I just don't know if he's going to redo what he did there to be in the top 2, but I think Giannis is probably 2 or 3 to me.
So Wemby did get double-double.
Did he?
Averaged 24 and 11.
Okay. I'm wrong.
And 4 blocks. I mean, 3.8 blocks. But
that's
4 blocks.
where his value really comes from to me is his blocks. And how many assists did he have?
3.7.
Okay, yeah. And Giannis was probably closer to 5.
Yeah,
4.5, 5.
But yeah. Wemby's just. I'm a big believer. He's a great player.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be considered. If he injuries, out of the question. One of the best ever. If he can just get it all figured out, his body figured out. Can he get a go-to move? But anyway, we're not talking about Wemby today. I mean, I think you're right. I think we're just so used to what Giannis can do that we just forget about how impactful even they have him averaging 60 fantasy points a game, which is insane.
I mean, this is like his 12th year or something. I didn't realize he.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I knew he's been in the league that long, but because he took a couple years to really get going, it just feels like it's year in and year out. He's just the same Giannis, pretty much healthy almost all the time as well. So I like that for my first pick. Just feeling. Obviously, if I don't get Jokic number 1, then I think I'd probably go in Giannis too.
Yeah. This team is just interesting as far as they're another team that doesn't have a point guard. I think they're saying that I guess Kevin Porter Jr. is going to be their starting point guard, maybe Cole Anthony. But
yeah, how do you feel about those guys?
I like Cole Anthony over Kevin Porter Jr. I just can't morally draft Kevin Porter Jr.
Yeah,
but I have a moral compass, I guess.
You got those Houston ties.
I don't follow Houston. I mean, I do, but like I don't. There's no ties to Houston here. I don't know. I just those two guys. They'll split minutes, and Cole Anthony will probably be the number 1 guy. But they need scoring, so maybe Kevin Porter Jr. steps in there. But
See, I'm more intrigued by Ryan Rollins last year. I had
Oh
him
yeah,
for a little
yeah.
bit, and I feel like they need to give him more playing time. And they gave AJ Green a good amount of time. He's supposed to get a lot of minutes this year too.
Right.
Um, you're right in that it's probably KPJ and Cole Anthony splitting some time, but I kind of see them as they're more distributors. They're not going to be as much scorers. So if we're looking
Oh
for
yeah.
scoring outside, obviously we can talk about Kuzma and Portis, but I think for your guard room, it's I'm hoping that Rollins is the guy they give it to because I feel like he's shown in the short amount of short sample size that he can score.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see that. I mean, Gary Trent Jr. He's a flamethrower. He'll shoot the ball a lot, and he's a good. Obviously, he's a lights out shooter, one of the best in the NBA, really. Um, it's just it's another one of those, if he's hot and they're playing 3-4 games in a week, I might
Yeah.
add him just to give myself a little nod. But he doesn't provide anything else. He's not going to provide any defensive stats,
Yeah.
no rebounds, no assists, no nothing. It's just, is he going to get you 15 points or is he not?
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And then I'm interested to also see how Miles Turner fits in this offense. I know we joked about it earlier, but
Yeah.
I think that he's a better version of Bobby Portis, which is still on their roster, but he plays well. Bobby Portis plays well enough to really think about drafting him later in drafts.
Mhm. Yeah, he's always
At least in the past has, but I think Miles Turner goes mid rounds maybe because he's better shooter with Giannis. Now, if Giannis he's never been known for his passing, but maybe he can facilitate a little bit more and get Miles Turner involved because Miles Turner's trail three is insane.
Mhm.
Is what he was most of the points he probably scores really is these trail threes.
yeah.
And Giannis eats up the middle, so
Yeah, which I think he'll space it well for him. Obviously they're pretty successful with Brook Lopez being there, kind of playing that same role, but I think Turner probably offers them a more athletic version of that to where he can get to his spot a little bit better than Lopez did. But
right.
I think he'll be a good fit, and I want him to do well there, so I'm kind of probably more on the optimistic side.
Yeah.
But I think he's going to be their probably clear number 2. Obviously,
Yeah, I mean,
Kyle Kuzma will have a word with that because, as our future MVP, he's going to be leading the league in scoring at some point. But I don't
Yeah.
I see Turner being their number 2 pretty clearly if they decide to, if they work it out with Giannis and how they're going to distribute the ball.
I mean, with Kyle Kuzma thinking he's so good that he couldn't possibly even come to the Mavs, he had to veto that because the system didn't fit,
Yeah.
or whatever his stupid reason was. But
Yeah, the system is I need to shoot 25 times.
yeah, yeah.
Oh, Luka's
Good
there?
luck
Yeah, I'm not shooting 25 times.
Hey, thank God, PJ Washington's the man.
Yeah.
But I think that wraps it up. I think we covered all the teams in these two divisions.
Yeah.
And got anything you want to end on?
No, I mean, I think that's hopefully a good preview for everybody on at least some of the rosters construction as far as, people that were brought in, that left, kind of where we're looking at valuing them for drafts. And I'm sure it'll be a little bit more elaborative when we're doing a mock draft and doing our actual draft. So we'll kind of follow up on that. But looking forward, we'll be looking next week to finish out the Eastern Conference with the Southeast Division. And then probably get into one of the Western Conference. Not sure which one yet, but maybe we'll target Southwest just to go with the Southeast. So,
Yeah.
look forward to that next week.
Yeah, please, like always, please follow on all social media. We're now on Apple.
Hey, we're
Apple
on everything now,
Podcasts,
baby.
Spotify, we're on everything. TikTok,
YouTube.
We're YouTube. We're everywhere.
Yeah, everything's linked somewhere in the bio. We'll put it in there. But yeah, any comments you guys have? I threw a poll on the Spotify. It has 2 votes, so we're getting some love. But
Yeah. I think it's one's my wife.
yeah,
so.
the other is my fiance. So you didn't have to expose us like that.
No.
But no, I'll probably throw some polls out there here and there. Just if you guys have feedback on what you want us to talk about, we've got a pretty good schedule lined up the next couple weeks. But after that, we're always open to feedback. So send it our way.
All right, everybody, have a good one.